The Immortal Thor, issue number 15. That's right, folks, a new era is upon us for the Immortal Thor. Let's see how long it lasts. Because if you aren't aware, and I'm sure you are because you're into comic books and you're aware of San Diego Comic-Con, Al Ewing is going to be writing a DC comic book coming out very soon. Is it the beginning of next year it starts? Absolute Green Lantern, is that when it starts? I don't know. And yes, they can still continue writing the Immortal Thor, but maybe the sweet siren song of DC is finally calling to Ewing, and we could see them leaping over there, which you could do a lot of cool stuff at DC if someone's giving you the chance to take the stuff you've done on like Immortal Hulk and the Immortal Thor and do a Green Lantern book. That'd be kind of cool. This issue is pretty fun. That's one of like the most surprising things about this run for me so far is just how much fun we are actually having, how little seriousness there is to a lot of this stuff, but how it takes itself very seriously, and it can sometimes just be a little satirical book. This issue plays with pretty much everything we've been talking about in the first 12 issues. Thor is still wanted for murder. He is dealing with the ramifications of the Gods tie-in where one of his brothers was killed. And now he's traveling just around. He's in Greece right now because he is to go meet with his friend. And if he shows his face in America, he's going to be wanted for murder. So he is in Greece. He is going to some old temple, some old ruin where he's meeting with Hercules. And yes, Hercules is here. Not looking at all like Brett Goldstein, which makes sense. I bet you Marvel forgot about that too. So here he is. He's got sunglasses on. He's got like a fanny pack. And it's just two big god guys talking about stuff together. And it's pretty fun. I like it. Thor's like, I have this spell on me that sometimes if I go into America, I don't think as well as I do. So I'm going to act like stupid, like Chad Hammer. And he's like, so you came to Hercules because I'm a stupid joke to you. He's like, well, I didn't say it like that, but part of it is that. He's like, I don't care. I get it. You know, I've done some foolish shit and I'm a pretty foolish guy. So I'm for whatever you need me to do, Thor. But I actually called you here. And Thor's like, yeah, I know. So what are we doing here? What's the reason for all of this? So they're kind of getting to the bottom of a riddle that was set up earlier in the run. And that is Tyrannos. So remember like the Utgard Thor, who Thor fought when he was in New York at the beginning of the book? Well, it turns out that Hercules fought a very similar one too. Someone posing as his father. He's like, he spoke of a wheel that turned as well. So there's a wheel somewhere and it's turning. Does that mean we're entering a new age, like a dark age? Even Gaia told Thor about like a new age and like a wheel turning. So they want to figure out what that could be. Is there something that could do that? We need to figure out who turned this wheel. And Hercules has a theory. He says, do you know of Nyx? And Nyx is the goddess of night. She is just like an ancient being that controls the night. And Hercules is like, my dad introduced her. She became like a member of our pantheon. And then she like killed him and stuff. And, you know, she wants revenge because the Avengers murdered her kids or whatever. And then Hercules brings up a good point, which is like, she is the goddess of night. And in the past couple of years, Marvel Comic Books has had two big events that feature stuff happening in nighttime, like Blood Hunt when we don't have a moon and vampires come out to play, and The King in Black when the Earth was covered in a symbiote, and Thor's like, yeah. So I guess the Magic Night Lady's probably free because of all that stuff that happened, and they need to figure out how to stop her. Luckily, Loki was tagging along, and they just go, hey, I think I know what we could do. That'd be pretty fun. But before we even continue on with our story, we have to take a minute and just have Hercules and Loki talk about how much Thor needs to get laid. Weren't you seeing She-Hulk for a minute? Yes, but that turned to something. He does like a big poetic speech about like, I am something that can never truly love. And it's like, all right, dude, you gotta do something quick. You're getting weird. Hercules mentions that him and his boyfriend are kind of like on a break, but Loki's like, oh, that's not what I heard. No. So it's really fun. So Loki's theory is that the events that happened, like Blood Hunt and King in Black, probably didn't free Nyx because those weren't really like about magic, and this is like a magic character. Like one was symbiotes, one was the Dark Force. Or was Blood Hunt magic? I don't know. I never read it. I just know Moon Knight came back in it. And you can see all those reviews on this channel as well. And Loki's like, we should just go to like the longest night that could be found in Midsummer. So they head to Antarctica, and Thor's piloting Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder, and they're just headed down there trying to figure out where they could fight. Loki's cold, and Hercules is like, why don't you just make yourself warm? Aren't you like magic and stuff? We also use this time to bring up how come Loki doesn't just fix the spell? You know, the spell that Enchantress and Executioner put on Thor? How come Loki, in all their infinite wisdom, doesn't just fix that? And Loki says, well, that's not really fun for the story. They're like, what? Like, yeah. Because this is what Loki's been doing this whole book. They've just been like, we are here to tell the story. We're the teller of tales. We are the ultimate version of ourselves to put you on this journey. We are both friend and enemy. And if I were to just do that, magically wave away the bullshit for the trial you're going on, what fun would that be? That's nothing. That's nothing. I kind of appreciate that. It's kind of metatextual in the sense that, yeah, maybe Loki could solve this problem, but why would they? That's not what they're here for. So, luckily, the two bros, Thor and Hercules, they're going to be okay. They're just going to go fight a giant witch who appears from the ground. She's like, ah, yes, I found you all. And they're ready to fight her, but she sicks her kids on them. And we get Apate and Dolos, and they're like two of like Nyx's kids. They got like a knife onto Loki. And then another one comes out to fight them. Oises or whatever. Oises, the worm daughter who is despair. And you're like, okay, that's weird. So the Oises or whatever you'd call them, they like wrap themselves around Thor and like project evil visions onto Thor. Like, you're failing. You're doing a bad job. You fall into so many traps, bro. I can't believe you're this bad at everything. Just showing like, you let your brother die inside a weird in-betweener box, bro. You became a version called Chad Hammer, dude. What is your problem? And then another son, Hypnos, who's the god of sleep, he shows up to fight Hercules. Like, I'm going to stab you with this sword that's going to make you sleep. It just means I'm going to kill you, but you get it. And just seeing that act makes Thor go, totally, I say thee nay, and burns Oises off of him. And he's able to better attack the people they're fighting. And it's going pretty good until one of these sisters that has, like, the knife on Loki slices their throat. But they're dealing with a trickster god, so it doesn't actually kill Loki. It kills Dolo, so the person that was holding Loki gets killed. And then Loki emerges as the teller of tales, like, you really thought you could slit the throat of an illusionist like me? That's stupid. Like, come on. Do you know who you're dealing with here? And Hercules is like, oh, there's the trickster I know. Thor's like, no, this is not the one we want to see. This person is going to mess us up. Okay, this is not going to be good for us. Nyx is really pissed that her children are dying again. And then Loki's like, well, I don't know. This is par for the course, I guess. Anyways, this is all your story, Thor, so I'm going to skedaddle. We'll say this is a test, and there you go, into eternal darkness, and when you emerge from it, something good will happen to you, or something bad. I don't know. I'm just going to put you into eternal darkness now. Okay, bye. That was my point in the story. Later. So Thor and Hercules just end up in total darkness. And they're trying to figure out where to go, what to do. Thor can turn the hammer into like a flashlight, and he does. And that's when they are hit with like a huge bright light or something. And Hercules is like, oh no. Oh no. What is that? And that is when we reveal that Zeus is in here. And he's another god of lightning fighting the god of thunder. And you're like, hey, that's awesome. What a crazy design for Zeus. It looks insane, and I love it so much. There's some Kirby crackle in there. You got to appreciate that. And that's where the book ends. And I'm having fun. Like, it's more fun than you're expecting for this book. Because this whole run opened up with, like, what if the god above gods just, like, came after you? You know? And then it's like, what if, like, Marvel bought your IP and turned you into a joke? And this issue's like, what if everything that happened in the first 12 issues were leading to this one specific moment where two bros get lost in the dark to fight like a dad? That's kind of badass. Like, it's doing something completely original and fun. And not what I was expecting from this Thor book. If you like, from issue 1, if you told me by issue 13 this is where we'd be going, I'd be very confused. But it's doing it in a really fun way, tying in everything going on. Also should note that issue 14 will mark issue 775 of Thor. So I think it's going to be like a special issue in some variety, which is pretty cool. Great fun. So Zeus is here. What are we going to do? Probably fight him or something. So, the Immortal Thor, issue number 13. I am going to give a 9 out of 10. Now, thank you all for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And of course, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.